What's up, YouTube? Bon here. MLB The Show 22 is finally here, and we have our first featured program. The Faces of the Franchise program will be live for 28 days starting today, so it will end on April 28th. Completing the whole program during this time will get you some insane rewards. In this video, I'll be going over these rewards and helping you decide which Faces of the Franchise cards to choose, as you only get to pick 2 per division. Stick around till the end to see all of my picks, and for my special pick at the end for the Big Dog Choice Pack. Comment down below, let me know who your picks are, and don't forget to leave a like to support the channel. Alright, let's get into the Faces of the Franchise program. To get there, go to Play, Programs, and at the top, Featured Program, Faces of the Franchise. And here's a list of all of the rewards you get at each XP milestone. These are the important ones. Faces of the Franchise packs. This is where you get these magical cards. And at the end, for 600,000 XP, you get the Big Dog pack. Alright, let's review each of these divisions, and I will let you know who to choose. Start with the AL West. You got Kyle Tucker. He's a right field for the Astros. Great hitting, contending arm and speed. No weaknesses really, but also nothing special. Corner outfield is also a very stacked position. Got Mike Trout, center field for the Angels. Incredible versus righties, could be a bit better versus lefties. Solid speed and fielding for the outfield. I wouldn't really recommend him though, as I feel like there's many better options and everyone will be trying to get his live series card. Here we got Sean Murphy, catcher for the Athletics. Great power, incredible fielding. One of the better catchers in the game right off launch. If you're not grinding for Joe Mauer, this is a great option. Mitch Haniger, right field for the Mariners. Amazing versus lefties, great power bat, good arm, respectable speed. Short term, I feel like he could be a great corner outfield, but I feel like he'll be replaced pretty quick. Long term though, I feel like he could hold his own as a great pinch hitter versus lefties on your bench. And we got Corey Seager, shortstop for the Texas Rangers. He's an incredibly well-rounded card, probably one of the better middle infielders right at launch. I definitely recommend him. So keep in mind, you only get to pick 2 of these. You get one at 120,000 XP, and then you get another here, AL West, 405,000. So it's the same pack. You get 2 of these choice packs. So my 2 options for the AL West are going to be Corey Seager and Sean Murphy. I'll add that if you plan to grind out Joe Mauer early on, you should probably take Mitch Haniger instead of Sean Murphy. Alright, moving on to the NL West. You get your first pack at 135,000 XP. First up, we got Carson Kelly, catcher for the Arizona Diamondbacks. Very good versus lefties, with lots of room to improve versus righties. Great fielder, no speed at all. His lack of hitting versus righties makes this a pass for me. You got CJ Cron, first baseman for the Rockies. Great power bat, great versus lefties. Defense is not good, but that's a lot less important at first base. Lack of speed and 68 contact versus righties hurts him as well. We got Cody Bellinger, right field for the Dodgers, also plays first base and left field. Oh, Bellinger, will he figure it out this year and bounce back, or is he a bust now? This card is good power, 99 arm is incredible from the outfield. Very good overall defense and speed. Combination of power, defense, and speed makes him quite useful. Jake Cronenworth, second baseman for the Padres. Weird choice to be the face of the franchise if you ask me. He can flex to first, third, or short. Not a great hitter. Not bad, but not great. But he also has solid speed and defense. Might be a good utility bench guy. We got Logan Webb, starting pitcher for the Giants. Great pitch selection with a sinker, slider, changeup, cutter, and fastball. Although none of his stats or velocity really wows you, he's a very respectable day 1 starter. So my 2 choices for the NL West will be Cody Bellinger and Logan Webb. Bellinger is very versatile with his 3 positions, great power, great defense, great speed. And Webb, although nothing special, will be a very useful starter early in the game. Keep in mind, you need 5 starting pitchers to field. Moving on to the AL East, you get your first pack at 165,000 XP. Cedric Mullins, center fielder for the Orioles. Mullins had a nice card in MLB 21. I really liked his swing. With that said though, nothing about this card jumps out at me, and I feel like there will be much better outfield options. Rafael Devers, third baseman for the Red Sox. Great hitter, but that lack of defense at third really hurts him. Third base is an important position on defense. He can be used at first, but I'd like to see better hitting stats out of my first baseman. CHAPMAN, reliever for the Yankees. He no longer has outlier, but he still has max velocity, 116 hits per 9 and 118 strikeouts per 9. That's incredible. Lefty relievers are rare early on, so by default this is a great option. Wander Franco, shortstop for the Rays who can flex to second or third base. Great speed and defense, but those hitting stats could really be better. Useful utility guy, but I think I'll pass on this one. MANOAH, starter for my Blue Jays. Similar to Webb though, from the Giants, nothing wows you about this card. 99 hits per 9 is okay. His pitch selection is pretty good. With that said, there aren't many good starting pitchers on day 1, and he doesn't need to wow you to get the job done. You need 5 starting pitchers, and I think he could definitely be one of them. For the AL East, my 2 options will be CHAPMAN and MANOAH. I could be convinced otherwise, however, keep in mind you need 5 starters and 8 relievers on your team. This will surely help field your pitching staff. Moving on to the NL East, you get your first pack at 180,000 XP. The first option is Ronald Acuna Jr., center field for the Braves. Another great player, similar to Mike Trout though, this is just a watered down version of his live series card. If you want an Acuna card, you may as well get his live series card, it'll be much better. We got Jazz Chisholm from second baseman for the Marlins. Very well-rounded hitter, no real weaknesses, but also no real strengths. 90 plus fielding and speed is very useful. He can play second, third, or short. I feel like you could do a lot worse than Chisholm. I just wish his hitting stats were better. Francisco Lindor, shortstop for the Mets, the $340 million man. For $340 million, you'd think you could get better hitting out of him. Very similar to Jazz Chisholm, just I feel like slightly worse. He's got a very nice 69 speed. You can play third or short. I feel like you could do better. JT REALMUTO, catcher for the Phillies. It's very rare to get 85 speed out of a catcher, so that alone makes him quite valuable, especially if you play a more contact and stealing game. The lack of power is his main weakness, and I feel like there's better catchers to choose from. Josh Bell, first baseman for the Nationals. Incredible hitting stats, but a lack of defense. Basically exactly what you'd expect from a first baseman. He bats switch, and that also adds some value. He can also play corner outfield, but I'm not sure you want him out there with that 50 arm strength. My 2 choices out of the NL East are Chisholm and Bell. Chisholm is one of the most well-rounded players available, and Bell is a perfect first baseman for your team. I will add, if you did not take Murphy from the AL West, JT REALMUTO is a very solid option as well. Alright, moving on to the AL Central, where you get your first pack at 210,000 XP. First option is Luis Robert, center fielder for the White Sox. Amazing versus lefties and still pretty good against righties. 93 speed, 88 fielding makes this incredibly well-rounded player. His lack of arm in the outfield though kind of scares me. Emmanuel Clace, reliever for the Guardians. 99 mile an hour fastball, 97 cutter, 92 slider. Hits per 9 of 106. Almost maxed out across the board. This guy looks incredible out of the bullpen. Casey Mize, starter for the Tigers, good pitch selection, however he has a lack of control and strikeouts per 9. I think you could do a lot better in your rotation. Maybe if you don't take Webb or MANOAH, this could be a decent selection, but you could definitely do better. Andrew Benintendi, left fielder for the Royals, pretty well-rounded player, lacking a bit of power in the lefty versus lefty situations. Solid fielder, solid speed, he can play anywhere in the outfield. You could do worse, but you could also do better. And we got Byron Buxton, center fielder from the Twins. He's got lack of contact versus righties, but otherwise he's an incredible player. 99 fielding, 99 speed, 96 arm strength. He's going to be incredible in the outfield. If you remember his card from MLB 21, he always felt like he was a lot better than his hitting stats. Maybe he'll do the same in 22. My 2 choices out of the AL Central are going to be Emmanuel Clace and Byron Buxton. Clace is simply too good to pass up with his velocity out of your bullpen. I could be convinced that Robert and Benintendi are better options than Buxton, but I'm banking on the fact that Buxton will play above his stats again in MLB 22. Moving on to the NL Central, this is the last division. You get it 225,000 XP, and then you'll see it resets and goes in the opposite direction on the way back. So you'll start at the NL Central for your second player, and then AL Central, and so on. So for the NL Central, first option is Marcus Stroman, starting pitcher for the Cubs. One of my favorite Blue Jays of all time. Very mid card though. Lack of velocity from his pitch selection. No real strengths. I feel like he could do a lot better than this. Joey Votto, first baseman for the Reds. Hopefully the Blue Jays soon though. Absolute beast against righty pitching, but you definitely want to pinch hit for him against lefties. Bad defense, bad speed, pretty much what you expect from a first baseman. He's a pure situational player. He'd be a good bench bat versus righties. Devin Williams, reliever for the Brewers. Good velocity at 96 miles an hour. Interesting pitch selection there with a screwball. 112 hits per 9 and 114 strikeouts per 9 is incredible though. This looks like a very good card. Brian Reynolds, center fielder for the Pirates, switch hitter who excels versus righties. Amazing contact hitter, 85 speed, respectable fielding, makes this a well-rounded card. Tommy Edman, second baseman for the Cardinals. Mr. Utility here, can play second, third, short, and all three outfield positions. You just can't catch or play first base. Incredible defense, 88 speed, good contact, but a real lack of power versus righties. My two choices for the NL Central are Devin Williams and Brian Reynolds. Williams is incredible and too valuable out of that bullpen to pass up. The second choice is tough. I just think Reynolds is the best of the rest. He's such a well-rounded card. I feel like you can definitely fit him into your lineup somewhere. If you take the same 12 face of the franchise cards that I recommend through this video, then at this point we have 2 starting pitchers, 3 relievers, and every position player is filled except for third base. Hopefully you stuck around because this is where we dive into the big dog pack at the end of the program. You get this for 600,000 experience points. Here are your options out of this pack: Anthony Volpe, Corey Kluber, Todd Helton, Jack Leiter, Curtis Granderson, Pablo Sandoval, Adam Ottavino, and Jordan Walker. Out of this pack though, the clear best choice is Anthony Volpe. Shortstop from the Yankees. He can flex to third base. He's an incredible hitter, 81 speed, and a very reliable fielder. This completes every position player, 2 starters, and 3 relievers. You're well on your way to having a crack Diamond Dynasty team. If you're still watching, I thank you for sticking around this long. Please think about supporting my new YouTube channel by dropping a like, leaving a comment, and subscribing. Let me know who you chose in your packs.